Lanius 76 to take out the first leg. Asprey had dominated the scoring phases, but it's the Lithuania as the first darts at double and pins it first time. The double 8 ensures a 14-dart break in the opening leg. The Lithuanian leads by a leg to nil.
He cannot, and the volume goes up in here.
Because they sense the opening that has presented itself for Dan Aspry here. Tops for 2-2. Double 10, 1 dart left in hand. He finds it pretty much to the same corner as last time. In great stead to progress through to the semi-finals. Double 10. And Lucky D is on the board. Darius Labans, who almost got eliminated from contention in Group C yesterday afternoon, gets his campaign for Saturday night up and running to a perfect degree. A wave to the crowd after what was a superb performance. 98.5 the average, 40% on the doubles. Labans has come out and set his stall out for the evening. Coming up after the break, Richie Howson, the bookmaker's favourite. There's a lot of late money coming in on the Owl, and he will take on Ted Evit after this short break. 2-1 in front. Settled in nicely now to the task, hasn't he? And that's the Evit's clan that have made their way over to the south coast this evening.
4 legs.
Well, he got off to a fast start, but it evaporated very quickly for Richie Howson. And Ted Evit stares down double 8 for a 4-1 victory to kickstart his night. It wasn't a vintage performance by Super Ted, but his folks that came down to watch him in action this evening will be pleased nonetheless of the win. For Howson, the bookmaker's favourite, he's got it all to do. It's the first time he has straggled below an 80 average throughout the whole course of the week so far. Evit's a 4-1 winner. And coming up after the break, we're going to watch Darius Labans in action up against Montgomery. If he plays in those events, he could be a danger. But this is to send Darius through. Double 10. To ensure of the third leg needed to send Darius Labans into the semi-finals. Lithuania could be within a couple of games away.
This has been some performance. Ross has played so well. In fact, this is the best he's played on a Saturday night to date, but it's still maybe not good enough. Darius has protected his hold of throw throughout this game very, very well.
Double 18 to secure the point, and Darius Labans will perfectly make his way into the semi-finals. 2 games played, 2 wins on the board, and as Montgomery makes his way down the stage and back into the practice room, he is going to be playing a winner-takes-all match with Dan Aspry in around about 25 minutes' time. Job well done for Darius Labans. 2 averages in excess of 90 to kickstart his campaign. Montgomery losing with an average just under 95, but it was the 3 from 13 on the doubles which ultimately made pay to his hopes. Coming up after the break, Ted Evit can book his place into the semi-finals with just a couple of legs. If he can get the better of Justin Hood, we may have 2 deciding shootouts at the end of the pool stages.
Touch you require 40.
Double top. He now has what Justin has. He now has half of what Justin has.
35.
They were qualification darts.
How academic could they be? As Hood moves his way 2-1 in front, and he has the breaker throw.
His opponent 3-1 up. Do yourself a favour, Ted. Hit this and get it done.
And Ted is into the semi-finals, and perhaps typical that he has done it with a ton-plus finish.
Previous leg.
Triple 18. Double 16 for the breaking 3-2. Huge dart, huge moment. And that's Justin's second on top of the game, and it means he now has the darts to win the match.
Legs to get through to the semi-finals in his next game against Howson. However, that double top could be pesky once again.
And it is a big win for Happy Feet, which puts him in the picture for a semi-final place Ted Evit's got the couple of legs that he needed to secure his passage into the Final Four. And there is a dancing darter. Justin Hood with a 95.24 average, a couple of ton-plus outs in there, getting the better of Ted Evit's 4-2 in a game that swung one way then the other. And so it is Hood that picks the points up. Coming up after the break, well, it's a straight shootout between Ross Montgomery and Dan Aspry. The winner will be in the semi-finals. The loser will head for home.
I think the ideal dart here is just above the 60. That'll do. But the single's tricky. Is he going to stay there?
Yeah,
that's a wonderful shot from Dan. Under pressure. Even though he's hit something bigger. What he would have given for another. It just hasn't happened. The tension of this game has caused their averages to tumble to the low 80s.
The issue Dan has is he's needed multiple opportunities to get legs one, but he has found the double four he needed there.
56.
So close. This might be the biggest visit of Dan Aspry's life.
And so Dan Aspry, an ADC qualifier from Telford in the Midlands, has double top to depose of Ross the Boss Montgomery and head through to the semi-finals here at the Super Series. It's a 4-1 win for the ADC qualifier against a man who's been so prolific in winning ADC and WSDT titles this year. At the tail of the tape, Asprey, a 4-1 winner against Montgomery. That 120 finish was so key towards proceedings, just when it looked like Montgomery was getting on top. Coming up after the break, it's Hood and Howson in the final game of the group stages. Masterful on the edge of brinksmanship. Hood wants tops. Double 10.
30.
And still, the opportunity to make his way through has come and gone. He hasn't rubber sealed it yet, and Howson can break. Howson does break. He leads 2-1.
Richie, you require 38.
He had it covered. But what is going on here? If this goes in, the next leg is enormous.
6.
And it doesn't. Howson hits that. The next leg, everything's on it.
Justin, you require 16.
Everything in this group would have been on the next leg. But now it might not be needed.
Yeah,
because Hood finds the double 8 that sees him into the semis.
Very near to Sunderland, so pretty normal weather for up there.
80.
Nice place to play, though. Nice roomy arena. That was the scene of England being beaten by Spain.
13. Justin, you require 152.
157 from Justin Hood in the previous leg. Gave him the group win. How about 152 for the win?
Double 16. He checks it's in. It's a comical end to the match, which hasn't ended just there.
I think it's about to, though.
100.
He's been ace this week as Richie,
16.
but he has come up short.
As Justin Hood gets over the line, he makes it 2 wins from 2, and Happy Feet 2 gets over the disappointments of Friday, heads through to the semi-finals with 2 wins from his 2 matches. For Richie Howson, it is disappointment, unfortunately for him, once again on a Saturday night. And so, the semi-finals are now set. The first of which will take place in around about 10 minutes' time when Darius Labans takes on Ted Evit. But prior to that, Chris Murphy and Paul Nicholson will have a chat about all of the action so far in the studio in a couple of minutes' time after this short break.
He's had to travel to test himself.
He's had to sacrifice a heck of a lot in his career. Evitts wants the bullseye for the 1-2-7 and game to level up at 1 apiece. How key could that be to proceedings? Evitts levels up. 1-2-7 to save his skin. He can't do the same with a 1-3-5. And so Labans now has 2 darts in his hand, a double 16 to break the throw of Evitts. And to move in one of 36. The final, but he goes just above in the double 8. And so Evitts has got a reprieve that he probably didn't expect.
What did we say with Chris Murphy before the match started? If Labanauskas misses, don't give him another chance. Well done, Ted. Evits again needs a ton plus finish. Where does he go? 18s? Watch out. This could be shot of the week.
93.
And this game has reached a crossroads moment. Ted Evit's missing double 18 for the break of throw. Labanauskas comes back for 78 to move himself 3-2 to the good. Double 12 goes for 14 data. And Labanauskas is a leg away from the final. It was a delayed celebration. Labanauskas himself is sat on 70 for the match if this doesn't go. We really have reached the pressure cooker moment. And Evit is substantially up to the task. Pins the tops in the middle of the bed. And we go all the way in this first semi-final.
It's Darius to throw first.
Darius has really slowed down here. The trebles have dried up. Put the pressure on and see what happens. You can't pressurise more than that. And Darius, because he hasn't found trebles, is now going to burn a dart
56
to get a match shot. Let's see if he can do it. The first bite of the cherry.
Tops. And Labanauskas is heading to the final. He may have been lucky in terms of making it through Group C. He is emphatically into the final. Ted Evit, it's been a week of progress for him, but it ends in the semi-finals. A salute to the crowd for the Lithuanian, who has a smile beaming from ear to ear. It was a high-quality first semi-final. Labanauskas with an average just under 95. Ted Evit losing despite an average of 98.31, 60% on the doubles, and a 127 checkout. It just shows that the Super Series can be a cruel mistress at times. Coming up after the break, our second semi-final sees Justin Hood take on Dan Aspry. Gives this 52 a sense of must get. Is it got need? Yes, indeed. And Hood is one away.
Justin Hood.
Choice. The double of choice is double 14. Double 7 has to go.
24.
It doesn't go. And so Justin Hood
60.
for his chance to return to the final.
The pain on the left side of the arena as we look at it. It might just get worse.
Double 10. And Happy Feet is into the final dance. Justin Hood gets the better of Dan Aspry by 4 legs to 2 to set up a finale with Darius Labanauskas. Asprey, the ADC qualifier from Telford, who has had a fantastic week to get through to the semi-finals, some achievements, and who knows, we may see him back here in the near future. But we're going to see Justin Hood on that stage in a few minutes' time. A 4-2 victor of a 90.43 average, 4 from 11 on the finishing. He's going to take on Darius Labanauskas in the jackpot match in around about a quarter of an hour's time.
But he is up against a Maverick. Double 10.
Yeah, that's game short in the first.
Just isn't missing tonight in the key moments. Constantly taking the lead. Darius isn't put off. He'd probably play darts like this if a meteor hit Earth. Look at that.
Short in the second line.
There is only one word in the English language to describe the way he's playing tonight.
Labanauskas, courtesy of that max, when he looked like a bystander in this leg, is now going to have a couple in hand at double 16 to establish a 3-1 lead. And Laban is a leg away from becoming the first ever Lithuanian to win a week. And that would mean Lithuania.
You require 86.
Someone's opened their wallet already for the winnings.
What a time for that to happen. Will that just give him a little bit of levity, I wonder? Let's find out on double 7.
79.
It may not.
Darius, you require 70.
This is way more doable than 170. Darius Labanauskas of Lithuania has won week 10.
And the match, and the
Look at the joy on the face of Lucky D. He's not lucky. He may be plucky, but he is a winner. and the first Lithuanian to win at the Motor Super Series, the 13th country to be represented in a Champions Week. You can see what it means to him. And not only that, he is going to be the representative of the 6th country in the Champions Week from week 10 through to Series 7. What a great night of darts. He was never behind. Not behind at any point. On a Saturday night tells you everything about where his game is at. And considering his best performance in a game this week, which has spanned 6 days, coming onto tonight was 92. He has bettered that tonight 3 times from the 4 games he's played. That is the final. Justin Hood with his best darts tonight in the final, averaging 95.87, but he didn't get enough shots at a double. Labanauskas brilliant on the doubles, finding a ton plus checkout, and he found 180s at brilliant times as well. 98.09 for him, a 4-1 victory, and my oh my, is that going to be felt in Lithuania and the Nordic and Baltic region, because they've now got 2 players into the Champions Week. Let's hear from Darius. He's your Week 10 winner.
Thank you very much, Darius Labanauskas. Many congratulations. You're the winner of Week 10. Just sum up how you feel right now.
It was 2 seconds, was maybe 5 minutes or 2 seconds after final. It's very hard to say something smart, but actually I was debut here, and I was good day today, and throw a little bit faster, and yeah, feel good. Good checkouts, good score.
What clicked so well this evening? Because your standard of play throughout the whole course of the evening was superb. It was immaculate. It was above 90 in every single match.
Oh, really? Because I don't have phone, I don't know.
He hasn't been Instagramming, I promise.
Everybody said it's a surprise for crowd. Yeah, it's okay. It's great. I played against good players and show good level on a correct moment. It's really nice. Yeah, it's like really enjoy this moment.
What sort of personal achievement is this for you? Because you've done so much in your career, but what does winning this title, winning this week mean?
This is my best title on this week. It's major title, but actually, yeah, it's one of the biggest win maybe on last couple of years. I think it's like that, yeah.
And so now, through to Champions Week, an opportunity to play for £25,000, the big trophy, the big check. How much are you now looking forward to that in a few weeks' time?
It's when will be on
it's
this?
End of May, 20th of May. It starts to the 25th, Champions Week.
All right, I will ready to go and come and to win bigger title.
It's all about winning the big trophies, isn't it, Darius?
Yes.
Well, on that note, I'm going to take that microphone off of you. I'm going to let you lift the trophy. That is yours. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of Week 10 is Lucky D, Darius Labanauskas!
Well, Darius Labanauskas enjoying that moment. Paul, it means a lot to him, doesn't it? He's had a long, illustrious career, but picking a trophy up in front of a crowd here and all the people watching around the world, it's a big moment for him, isn't it?
It is. Everything he does is for himself, it's for Lithuania, and it's for Nordic and Baltic darts, which has helped him an awful lot in his career. But think about all of the different places that he's been, and let's not forget as well, this is his first week here. He's got friends all around the world, has Darius Labanauskas. He's one of the friendliest people as well.
It looks like he's made some friends as well, because that's a nice touch. Both Dan Aspry and Justin Hood coming straight up to congratulate him.
Yeah, very much so. I think because he spent so much time in the practice room this week, he'll have made some friends for life, I'm sure. but ultimately you've got to beat your friends in this game to get the titles. And it's his first chance to get a win here this week. Think about the people who have been here multiple times and not even made Saturdays. He's made Saturday at the first attempt and had one of the most storied routes to get here, and then he dominated here tonight.
Just enlighten us on that story, because some of the viewers may have only tuned in for the Saturday night and it seemed like Labanauskas might have been the best player all week, but that hasn't been the case, has it?
Not at all. He was 4th in Group A. He was 2nd in Group C, but he was top of that group with a game to go. But the only reason he was in that position is because he was hanging around 3rd position, and then towards the end, he needed to sprint for the finish, got the results, and waited for someone to stutter, and that person who stuttered was Johnny Haynes. Johnny watching this right now will think, that could have been me. It is Darius.
Yeah, but he's had some big finishes this week. You mentioned against the match against Haynes, he had a 90 finish in that, but he was at it again in the final tonight, wasn't he?
He was at it in lots of different ways here tonight. 2 really good performances in his first game and his last game, and shots like that were giving Justin Hood so much trouble. He found it very hard to get into the game, but I think even Justin would admit that when he got chances, he didn't take all of them, and as a result, Darius was a very befitting champion.
And to do it in the sort of bear pit of having his opponent, it's almost like when you used to play pub darts and you go to an away match, isn't it? To do that, it takes some guts, doesn't it?
It does. I've talked about many players on the tour over the last few years, and some of them have got great qualities to play away games. I still think that Johnny Clayton, if we were going to have this planet and have a team captain against another planet, Johnny Clayton would be my captain, because his ability to play away games is legendary. Labanauskas would be on that team as well, because his ability to play when he's being heckled or even when he's not, but he is supported against, he can still do it, and he dominated that final from start to finish.
Still down there, isn't he? Signing autographs, getting selfies. It's become a real big thing, this Super Series. Every week in this series, we've had a healthy audience here. Many people want to come and enjoy the moment. Where else would you get a player win the trophy, walk off stage and immediately mingle with the fans?
Well, let's face facts. A lot of the people who come here are local. They come from the county of Hampshire. Why else would Darius Labanauskas come to Portsmouth? This is a darts county. This is now a darts city. This place is where worlds collide. And we've got 2 Nordic and Baltic qualifiers into the Champions Week. And some of these people might have admired Labanauskas for years. We're talking about a guy who's hit a 9-dart leg on the Ali Pali stage. We're talking about someone who's been in a final on the PDC Pro Tour. This is a guy you can admire, and you're going to admire him some more because he's coming back later in the month.
Certainly is. Right, let's just reflect on the entire night. Here are all of the results from this evening. Now, Richie Howson was the favourite before a dart was thrown, but lost both of his group games, losing to Ted Evit and Justin Hood in a really difficult group. Labanauskas winning both of his group games in Group 1. Ross Montgomery going out of that group. But I just did want to speak about the 2 losing semi-finalists once more, Ted Evit and Dan Aspry. Now, Ted, he will probably feel he should be winning events like this at this stage of his career, somewhere between getting back on the tour and doing stuff in the secondary tours, if you like. But Dan Aspry, what has he learnt about himself this week?
He's learned how he feels under the pressure of the lights and the cameras, and that could be invaluable for him. I would say that he has increased the amount of hunger for what he wants to do in the future. When he wakes up tomorrow, if he's not more hungry than he was last Sunday, I'd say it was a week failed. As far as Ted is concerned, I'd be positive. There was some really good form here this week. He created a personal best for himself, averaging 111 in a game. That is a positive. But he's also made his first Saturday and got through his group. So trending in the right direction. I would now set your stall out, Ted, to try and get a weekly win sometime this year and get into a Champions Week. That would be a successful year.
Certainly no failure from Darius Labanauskas. What does he bring to Champions Week?
Focus, an ice-cold stare to the board, and I think he brings companionship to Andreas Harrison, so watch out everybody else.
Yeah, and potential winner? There are a few people who you would look at in any Champions Week and go, they could actually win this. Has he, with his performances tonight at least, put himself in that bracket? Definitely.
You would put him in the same bracket as Andreas. Dangerous at the minute, and we have to take him as someone in form now, considering what he's done tonight. What he does between now and the Champions Week is incredibly important. He's going to have to plot things really, really well, but you'd maybe put him in the same bracket as someone like Bradley Brooks. Bo Greaves is out on her own at the minute, but don't forget about people like Darius. It's not going to be a script like Champions Week. Someone might tear it up.
And I know that you're a big advocate of winning quite late in a series, so that could work for him as well.
It's been written, hasn't it? All of our winners have come from the second half. So when your form is good and you're only a fortnight out from Champions Week, it's a good sign.
It certainly is. Well, thank you for your company this week. We'll see you again very, very soon indeed. And we hope to see you again very soon indeed. Here on week 10, the Lithuanian Labanauskas lobbed his way to lifting the trophy. But we're going to be back next week to do it all again.
Shot on the second leg, Asprey Coleman.
I'm not sure that Joe Croft is not even going to look at tops this time.
Double 18 for 116. The ton topper for Devon Peterson.
And he's hit it.
First leg. Game shot on the second leg.
Okay, double 13. That'll do. He has got form for that.
And board management, you've got the smart, because it's just so natural and normal.
Trina Gulliver.
That's a lovely finish, to be fair.